This question is pretty straightforward, especially if we remember that we can factor to help us solve. So it says, which of the following is a solution to the equation x squared minus 64x is equal to 0? So what values for x could you plug in to make the left side of the equation equal 0? We could just plug in those values. That's one ACT strategy, and that can be an effective way to solve something like this. Or we can just look at this equation and we can say, okay, the greatest common factor, what do they have in common, is an x. And if you pull an x out of x squared, you're left with x. If you take an x out of 64x, you're left with negative 64. And so that has to equal 0. So we have two things multiplied, x and x minus 64. If either of those will equal 0, then 0 times anything is 0. So the only value for x that will make just x 0 is 0. So that is a solution to this equation. But if we look at our answers, that's not an option. So then we have to look at the other piece. What value of x will make this parentheses piece equal 0? And that would be 64, because 64 minus 64 is 0, and 0 times anything is 0. So we know that the two solutions are 0 and 64, and 0 is not an option, and 64 is, and we find that in choice G.